Testing, testing. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Here we go. And might be a little bit loud in the other room. We're getting everything tuned and ready to go. Please bear with us. All right, Tyrion says, did not know you like drawing, Checkpoint Professor. Let me tell you a little bit about myself today. Everybody, we're going to remove the starting soon sign. Potentially, we have viewers over on Facebook. We've got viewers on YouTube. And this is the first of what I hope will be many more of these little drawing sessions to do this. So let me preface, kind of explain what's going on here today. This is a live stream. This is a live art stream. And so I wanted to introduce myself a little bit. For those that don't know, on my channel, you'll see a lot of video games played, etc. But I'm the Checkpoint Professor, real name Gabriel, and I am a professor of video game design at the University of Utah. And I am also a father of 6 kids. And prior to being a professor, I was a game designer and artist for Disney, where I worked for 10 years as a level designer. Working on Disney Infinity, Cars 2, and some other games. And so, yeah, art has been a huge part of my life. Huge part of my life, as well as video games. So, yeah, so the idea here is for my kids, I wanted to take a bigger part in teaching them how to draw, how to appreciate art, and all things art. And so last week we decided, hey, why don't I do a stream on creating art, and then my kids will follow along. So actually right now, in the other room, my kids are following along to this. So we've got Widmore, Miss Pie, Molasses, and Eclair over in the other room. So they're going to follow along in the assignments we're going to do today. So here's what we're going to do today. Today we're going to draw faces. This is the first ever live stream art stream here. We're going to draw faces. Rain's going into 7th grade. That's awesome. So this is intended not to just be for kids, though. The idea is it's a little bit of a homeschooling session where I teach my kids some drawing technique, and hopefully it's accessible to everybody. So we're just going to teach some fun techniques. If this takes off and we find that people do like this content and this is something people want to watch, it may become a weekly series, or every 2 weeks we'll do something like this where we practice some drawing techniques online. All right, so here we go. So yeah, some of the faces I like to draw, I thought I'd show some of those really quick. This is a sketchbook I really enjoy when I'm doing Sunday sketches or just face sketches, so I thought I'd show off some of those. June Tree says, I'd love to see this regularly. Yeah, the idea too is I'm doing this live instead of just a pre-recorded video. So if anyone wants to ask questions or have insights or something they want to show, they can do that. So my kids are in the other room. I'm going to do some drawing exercises. We're going to cover drawing faces today. And then at the end of the lesson, they're going to come in and share what they've learned. They're going to show off some of their artwork for you all. So they'll show them right here and we can check it out. Rain says they're doing this on a paper plate. You can do it on anything, my friend. So here's some of my sketchbook. This is some of my recent faces I've been drawing. So just randomly when I'm in public, I like to draw faces. They're a lot of fun. So I'm going to go over some of the techniques today that I use when drawing faces in my sketchbook, and kind of some of the stuff I like to use. Drummer Guy says they have a sketchbook handy. Yeah, if you don't, that's okay too. Some more of my sketches. This one you may recognize. It's a pretty cartoon accurate Peppa Pig I drew for my kids. So as you can see, I like doodling a lot. Various little faces there. It's a mouse. Tyrion says cursed Peppa. So we're just sketching it. Every once in a while, we should totally do some sketchbook reviews. Just show some of the work we're working on. Hunter Otis says, awesome. Hey, Hunter, how's it going, my friend? June Tree, how are you doing? Let's see. I'm not sure how many more I have in here. I usually fill up a sketchbook every month or so. But the beauty of these exercises and me coming on with you, it'll give me more excuses to draw as well. Excuse me, a little bit of a cough. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to talk a little bit about materials. To make art, honestly, it doesn't really matter what kind of materials you have. You can use almost anything you have. For example, I was scuttling around looking for pens and pencils before I started the stream. Being a dad, I have an office with some of my art supplies, and they tend to disappear, which is okay. So I'm going to tell you some of my very favorite things to draw with, and I'll show you. This is one of them right here. This is the Bic medium point pen. These are like the cheapest pens you can buy. I really love to draw with them. They feel really good. And then other than that, right here you can see this is just some Xerox paper. While I was at Disney, I learned to enjoy Xerox paper because it was free, it was accessible, and the beautiful thing about drawing on Xerox paper is you're not tied to it, right? If you buy yourself a nice fancy sketchbook, you feel like every drawing has to count. And so it kind of inhibits you from drawing because you're afraid to make mistakes. Every piece of paper has to look beautiful, and it doesn't. So I love drawing on Xerox paper because if I mess up on it, I can just crumple it up, no big deal, and throw it away. And then my clipboard, this is a clipboard I got from Walmart. You can see it's been drawn on. It was about $1.50 or $1, really cheap. So you don't need to spend a lot on art supplies. That's what I love about doing traditional art as well, is everything is just handy when you have it. June Tree says they're doing good on campus, watching and doodling from the library floor. That's awesome. So for everyone watching, this is going to be about an hour. If you like this content, please consider liking this stream. And then if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it helps support me, helps me know that people want to see more art lessons like this. So to start off, and Checkpoint kids, I hope you're watching. Whether you're, my youngest is 3 or whether you're 99, I think these are some exercises everybody can learn. This is your first assignment, everybody. Drummer Guy asked, do you ever use charcoal pencils? Yeah, I do, on occasion. I've used a lot of charcoal pencils, especially when I'm doing figure drawing, and you've got like the large pieces of paper. That's usually when I use charcoal pencils. Excuse me, sorry about the cough. June Tree says, I've become accustomed to using Uniball pens. I like using a pen rather than a pencil now, since it forces me to commit and not care about scribbles. Yep, that's a good insight as well. All right, so here we go. So here's the first lesson. Checkpoint kids, scream from the other room so I know you can hear me okay. There we go, I can hear him. Okay, so here's your first assignment. Here we go. We are going to draw circles. Are y'all ready for this? Okay, so this seems like a really simple task, but let me show you. The goal here is to take your pen and just draw a quick circle about the size of a quarter or a silver dollar. And the goal here is to use one clean motion, one swift motion, starting and ending on the same spot, which is really hard to do, but this helps practice your dexterity with your hand. So we're gonna do this. So we're gonna kick it off. I'll do it, and it's actually really hard to draw in the position I am, but we're doing our best. So here we go. So once you've drawn one of them, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep drawing several of them about the size of a corner. Try to start and stop on the same spot and try to do as perfect a circle as you possibly can. And I know it's okay if they're not. That's perfectly okay. So June Tree says circles are hard. And that's why we practice. That's why we practice, so we get this flow of teaching our hand how to draw as perfect a circle as possible. So we're going to draw a bunch of circles around the page. And we'll give you a second to catch up here. All right, so we've got a bunch of circles, right? Kieran says circles are hard to perfect. So true. And while everyone is filling up some circles on their page as well, for future content, let me know. In the future, we'll talk specifics about shading and coloring, color theory. We'll do a lot of fun stuff here. Okay, so here we go. So now that we've kind of got these spaced out, we're going to draw some more of the same size circles and try to just kind of fill in some of the blanks. Just a little bit here. And now is the tricky part. Now, to really make things more difficult, circles are already hard. I'm going to try and draw circles in between these circles and get them to touch the edges of the other circles. So here we go. We're going to try and draw circles. Within these circles, you don't want to overlap, but you want to get them as close to the other circles as possible. Like that. Trying to touch. You can see I really overlapped on that one. But this is a really good exercise for training you how to quickly draw circles. And this helps your speed too and your accuracy when drawing. It also helps take out the thought process. You know, a lot of people will start drawing and they'll kind of do little hatched lines, but we're learning how to just control the lines through exercises like this. And don't worry if it's really awkward or you're totally cutting through. The goal is just to try. It's not to be perfect. And now I'm starting to do smaller circles within those circles. We're trying to not overlap them, trying to fit them all in. A wonderful exercise. I actually learned this from one of my undergrad professors who was a phenomenal illustrator. And occasionally, especially when you can't think of something to draw, you can do these exercises just to kind of warm up your pen. And not really your pen, it's to warm up your drawing hand. But we're going to do this first before we get in, because we're going to start drawing some faces using circles. All right, that feels pretty good. So there's our warm-up assignment, and this can take 5 to 10 minutes right there. All right, anybody watching on Facebook, welcome to the channel. On YouTube, welcome, welcome. All right, how does everyone feel? Are we kind of following along? June Tree says, I definitely used to struggle. Sorry, let me cough a little bit. Allow me to take a sip of water. A little bit of a cough there. June Tree says, I definitely used to struggle with hair sketching syndrome. Learning to do a whole shape in one line is great. Yep. Kieran's just watching, so no paper to draw. Okay, so let's go on to the next step. So we're actually going to start drawing a head, and usually I like to have some reference, some kind of video image reference to help me get an idea of what I'm going to draw. A lot of times when I don't have anything else to draw, I'll do a self-portrait. And so in future videos, right above my head here, we'll have reference images so everyone can follow along and we can kind of work on drawing some of the same stuff, whether it's animals or working on folds of clothing and that kind of stuff. But let's talk about drawing a head. So the first thing, what's the first thing we need to do? We could probably draw a big circle, right? And so when I watch a lot of how to draw faces videos, they're very precise. They kind of do the same thing where there are these universal attributes, the distance of the eye from the top of the head, etc. But the truth is, not very many people fit a perfect mold. So as long as you know the general shapes of face or the way faces look, it makes it really easy to draw. So we're going to use some of those circles that we started with to kind of block that out. June Tree says, oh, I'd love to do shared reference stuff. That's an awesome idea. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to do some fun stuff. Okay, so let's start with a circle. And when I draw, like in the sketchbook that you just saw, I usually like to start with one big circle. And that kind of sets the composition of where that whole face will be, right? Because if you start drawing and you just start doing an eye, and then you draw a nose, right? If you start building out with the little pieces, you might end up with a small eye and a big eye, and it might just not really look the way you want it to. Tyrion says, art is hard, drawing faces is very hard, and drawing furries is really hard, but CPP will politely explain drawing faces. Yes, we're going to politely do that today. This is a polite art stream where we keep it chill. It's a family stream for all ages. So let's do this. And it doesn't matter what the shape of your circle is. In fact, I sometimes like to start with weird shapes. So let's just draw a big circle here, and I'll just draw it kind of light. So it's kind of lays out the premise of my page. And so we draw this just basic oval circle here. This is what I'll start with. And then the trick is, I am going to draw one line. If you draw a line kind of down the center of this circle, that's where the eyes will be, right here. You're going to kind of split that in half. Drummer Guy says, hands are the bane of my existence. Should we do a hand drawing stream? I'd actually love to do a hand drawing stream where we just have hand references. And for an hour, we just sit back and talk and draw hands and just have fun drawing hands and reduce them being the bane of your existence. Tyrion says, my favorite circle is a polygon. Not really a circle, but it could be. Drummer Guy says, yes, yes, please. Tyrion says, hands. Oh, no, yes. We're going to do a hand stream. Okay, so we split the circle in half. I hope my kids are walking. This is what you're going to be doing right now. It's okay. These should all look different. We're just drawing from the imagination. So now we need to draw a nose. We're going to draw a nose because that would be kind of down the center line as well. We could start with the eyes or nose. But we could also, if we really wanted to, we could put some lines about where the nose and mouth should be. But we're not going to worry about that so much right now. So we're going to draw a nose. And I think the way I kind of think about this, starting the nose, is another oval. Think about like the Muppets, how they have those big bulbous noses. We're just going to draw one of those. We're going to start out with a circle. And it looks kind of weird at first. And I know this is kind of light, but we're just going to draw that big circle. And now we can draw another circle for each eye. And the nice thing about circles is you know they're the correct distance apart. Koba says, what up? So I'm in lunch break at high school right now. Awesome. Yes, this is the place to be. Okay, so we're starting off some basic shapes. And the mouth as well, if you wanted to kind of draw a circle there. It's not looking much at the moment, but let's start turning this into something. Now that we've drawn the basis of the nose here, I'm actually going to draw another circle at the bottom of it. This is going to be the bulb of the nose. So you kind of have the bridge is this piece right here, and then you've got the bulb. And this can work for any different kind. And I'm going to do this drawing a lot of different circles. So you've got the bulb of the nose, and then you've got the two nostrils, right? And I remember I'm going to draw another circle for each of the nostrils right there. And I remember in art school when I was in middle school, I had a great teacher. He taught me a lot of stuff. And he kind of said the nose kind of starts as kind of like a handlebar shape. And he started out like that, and then you put the nostril on each side of it, which is a fine way to do it. Today we're just talking about circles, so we're just going to draw with circles. So here's the bulb, and then we're going to draw another circle where the bridge would be. Kind of starts fleshing out that space, like I said, using circles and round lines. I love drawing with circles. All right. Okay, so let's continue on. So we have these eyes. Obviously, those eyes are huge. So if you look at my eyes, you notice they're kind of the shape of an almond a little bit. But now, because we draw this big circle, we have the inside of each eye, which is the inside line of that circle, and we have the outside of that eye. And these eyes might be a little big, but because we drew those two equal circles, we kind of know what size that will be now. So now we can kind of draw those half circles, which will be the eyes right there. Just kind of gets you started really, really, really quick. And then we can draw another circle inside that, which will be the iris and the pupil. Let's do that really quick. Kind of an interesting face. And even now, I'm kind of talking as I'm going. A lot of this wasn't super prepared, so we're just going with the flow today. We're going to draw in some lines for the eyelids. But you can see, like, really quickly, we really blocked out what the whole shape of that head will be. And if we want to continue that block out process, I'm going to draw a little line here for the mouth. Start building that out. Tyrion says, looking good. We're going to draw some ears. We're going to pop some ears in really quick. And we're going to draw a couple circles for that. They can kind of stick out if you want, or they can kind of be circles that have been flattened down. But a good rule of thumb for the circles is, or for ears, is even look at me. You look at my image. Like, you see my eyebrows here? If you go right around to the side, it's the top of the ear. And then the nose, at the bottom of the nose, if I take that all the way around, it's the bottom of the ear. So you kind of have some indicators of where that is. So I'm going to take this from here, and from the top of that, these might be some big ears, but then we can just draw a couple more circles over on this side. And those will be my ears. Makes it pretty easy. Right now, I'm just going to keep adding onto this face, thinking of where I can find more circles. And right now, even looking at my image, what it's lacking on there is your chin. That is another circle. The jawbones kind of go out and they form a circle on the chin. So we can draw another circle down at the bottom of the chin right there. So it's starting to look like a face. And even now we can connect the dots from the bottom of the ear to the chin. It's kind of like that another quarter circle going down to that jawbone, right? And this is pretty easy. Let's look at my head again. You can see the neck is just kind of squished in a little bit and just goes straight down. So if we want to draw the neck down, and there is our face's neck. Not too bad, right? So let's draw some eyebrows in here. Eyebrows typically are just about an eye length above the eyeball, unless you want this to be a surprise character or something. So we'll draw one eyebrow up here. This is just quick sketching here. Right? And then for the ears, let's add a little bit more to them, because the ears aren't perfectly round. They're kind of wider up top, and then they taper in a little bit towards the bottom. So wider circle up here at the top, and then they go kind of in towards the face to form the ear lobe. And then up at the top here, I usually draw another line to show where the top of the ear curves over. We'll do another one up here. And then you have, I don't know, can anyone tell me the technical term of this little notch, this little fold of skin that goes over your ear hole? It's the ear hole cover, I think is the official title. So I usually pop in an ear hole cover, kind of fills out the ear. And then of course down here where the earlobe is, we'll put another line there. Makes it pretty easy. Tyrion says, looks real. I can't see the difference between a real person and the drawing. Yep, this is the quick. The ear flap. The drummer guy says it's the ear flap. We have an official terminology, my friends. The ear flap. So let's add a little bit to the nose here. So here's where the nostrils would be, in between those circles. And then we'll just dip that the bulb of the nose down a little bit, and then we can draw a little bit more detail onto those nostrils. You can see it starts to look a little better. We're going to do a little bit of shading here today too, just to give it a little bit more detail. Okay, and then usually this, I'm going to go overkill a little bit. I just want to show some stuff just to have fun. Usually there's like underneath the lips, there's kind of like some lines, a little bit of fat that grows up there. So we can even draw a little bit more circles there. And then you have creases that come down from the nostrils around your mouth. There's actually a lot of muscles around your mouth that kind of go in that same circular pattern that we're drawing, and around the eyes that go in that same circular pattern. It kind of builds out the muscles, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to draw a little bit down that goes down here. And then just to give it a little bit more depth, I am going to put a little bit of shading on this upper lip. So the upper lip, because it creases down, the light doesn't hit it as much. So usually if you just sketch in a little bit of shadow on that upper lip, it just gives it a little bit more depth. This is a slow process. You see it just started as a big, simple circle, but we keep adding that detail, adding more circles, just going step by step. But the beautiful thing is I had this big circle here, so I know exactly where everything goes on the face, and that's kind of half the battle here. So we're going to put a little bit more detail on this bottom lip, and we could even tuck in a little bit of shadow under here, right? Here on that bridge of the nose, maybe if we just draw a line on just one side of it, starts to build out that shape there. June Tree says the ear flap is called the tragus. Apparently, thanks Google. Okay, so this thing is called the tragus. Kids, if you're watching, remember that. That'll be in the test. The tragus. All right, so now what should we do? Really, we could just keep going. I'm trying to do my best to talk and draw at the same time, which is not always the easiest thing to do. But hey, if we can play Super Mario Maker 2 and talk at the same time, I think we can draw and talk at the same time. Fun fact, when I was in high school, I was always drawing, because drawing actually helps me memorize and remember the things that the teachers are telling me. And so a lot of teachers, early on, they would get upset that I was always doodling during class. But the truth is, they would say, Gabe, what did I just say? And when I was doodling, I could repeat verbatim everything that they had just told me. For some reason, there's a connection with my brain and doodling that actually helps me pay attention better when I'm listening. And so I would tell people that, and then they would say, I agree, a lot of people are like that. June Tree says, hey, that's exactly how I am. It's true. It's true. Drummer Guy said, no, there's always tests, my friend. All right, so we're going to keep doodling on this. I think what we're going to do is we're going to draw this one out, and then we're going to go again using a weirder shaped circle, just to kind of show how it all works. That you don't have to stick to the way you want it. So even with this, we're gonna draw some hair. I'm just gonna go simple hair. If it was someone like me, maybe a receding hairline, I don't know. We're gonna draw a little circle up here up top. We're gonna keep the circle theme going. A little circle here on the side, and then that can just go all the way down. So here's where my hair parts. We'll just follow that circle over here, and here we can draw some of that hair in. For any of you drawing your own pictures, feel free to draw them however you want. You do not have to draw hair like this. But it makes it pretty simple, and then we can just scribble in the hair. We're just gonna darken it up just to give it a little bit of a change there, and then a little bit of sideburns coming in here. Really, it's all about scribbling. I call it scribbling haphazardly on paper. June Tree says they used to get a lot of grades dropped in elementary school for doodling all over the worksheet. How dare they? That's extra credit, my friend. Doodling is extra credit. I actually usually got extra credit for doodling. Okay, so this is kind of really quick how to draw. So we're gonna add a few more details just for fun. You can see the eyes, they need a little bit of love. So we're gonna add that little circle. There's that little white circle that is called a specular shiny spot on the eye. You'll see that a lot, especially in simplistic drawings. You've got these big dark eyeballs with a big white shiny spot in the middle. That's because the eyeballs are wet. And you can even see my eyes shining a little bit on this video because they're wet and they're round, and so they have a really sharp reflection. Whereas my face that isn't wet but is a little bit oily, it's a little bit separated a little bit. And so it really shines specifically on that one spot directly between you and the light. And so now we can fill in the rest of that iris and leaving that white spot. So that really shines, makes it pop out a little bit more. Drummer Guy says extra credit, I usually got detention. Awesome. So let's draw a few more circles. You can see even on my face I have cheek ones that come in. Most people do. So we can draw kind of like a little bit of a circle coming in here. And then even then, we talked about the shadow of the upper lip. I've got a lot of light coming on me, but usually there's some shadow that comes underneath the nose. So a lot of times when I'm just trying to draw things out quick, just to add that extra little depth, I'll draw a shadow underneath the nose and even underneath the neck. Where the shadow of the head comes down on the neck, gives it that extra little bit of depth really quick. And then even underneath the eyeballs, because the eyeballs are usually sunken into the face a little bit. The bridge of the nose might have a little bit of shadow that comes out across, and even the sides of the face might be shadowed just a little bit. So we can draw a face really quick, and then even in the ears, we'll do a little bit of shading and shadowing. So that, my friends, in a nutshell, that's how to do a really quick overview of how to draw the face from the front perspective, meaning it's looking straight at you. Okay, so we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna yell out to my kids. Kids, are you caught up? They say yes, and feel free to let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. Like I say, we're gonna keep doing these because they're a lot of fun. The whole idea, especially if there are any homeschooling families out there, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna do these live sessions where you can ask me questions, we can continue, and you can help drive the curriculum. But the idea is I'm gonna teach my kids to draw, dang it, and at the end of this, drawing session, they're gonna come show me each of the pictures. So everybody should be here at this place. So now let's have a little bit of fun with it. Let's break the rules a little bit. So feel free to draw a weird shaped circle. In fact, I'm just gonna go out. This will be the second assignment here in the drawing face. Let's draw another front view face, but let's draw, I don't know. How am I gonna turn that into a face? I think I may have bit off a little bit more than I can chew. I didn't keep it symmetrical. So here's the beautiful thing we talked about using Xerox paper. I'm actually going to start again. But I'm just going to, it made me want to do a flattened circle. So we're going to turn this into a face. Tyrion says make an alien. All right, we'll try to make some kind of an alien. So now we can do whatever we want if we just kind of follow those rules, really. And we could break the rules too. So originally we put like that cross line down the middle, but if we want to do an alien, maybe we'll put the line up here on top. We'll put it up higher where those eyeballs will go. This may not make a lot of sense. It may not be natural, but we're going to go with it. So let's start drawing the nose. We're going to do this really fast. This is where we've learned a concept, and now we're just going to have fun with it. So usually in education or school or anything you're doing, you want to learn a main concept, and then you want to repeat it. Because if you just only learn something once and then you never repeat it again, you never get better at it. So this is fun to goof around with. So since we're doing this, let's do another nose. Maybe this nose will look something like that. Someone said make an alien. So this face could be in perspective, or we could just go crazy with our alien and make some big giant eyeballs. Okay, and the same thing, here's where his mouth will be. Kind of weird so far. All right, so let's do this. So on this one, the bulb is huge. This is the free drawing session. Everybody just kind of do what you want. And here's where my nostril will come through. So we'll draw some nostrils on this gentleman. Okay, and the eyes, now I've got to figure out what to do with these eyes. Someone said draw goofy. So here's our huge eyes, a goofy face, and we're gonna draw the pupil pointing that way. We'll draw one pointing that way. We can just go crazy with it. And now, since it's a big giant eye, we're gonna now just wrap our eyelids. Where would the eyelids go on this? We're gonna do some half circles around the bottom here. Around that side. This is the beauty of doing a live stream, is that you never know what you're gonna get. This could be a disaster, it could be awesome. So we talked about that big reflection point on the eye. Since this is a bigger eye, we're gonna draw a bigger reflection point. You would actually have one here and one over here. Here's the middle of the eye. And then here's where the eyelid will wrap up top. This should be interesting. So we're using the same general drawing method as our previous drawing, but you can see you can make things look completely different. So the top of his head is actually up here in between, so I'll just draw that off, and maybe we'll even do a tuft of hair. So let's draw a couple circles. I'm gonna draw some circles that kind of snake up, kind of like a smoke. So this will be his hair. That works, right? That's goofy looking guy, looks like a meme. If you remade him in 3D, we could slap him into a meme game. We absolutely could. All right, so here's his mouth. And we're gonna change this one up too a little bit. We'll put the top lip right here. And this spot, sometimes when you're doing these circles, they kind of look like something to me. They kind of look like teeth. So I'm gonna roll with that. And we'll just turn these into teeth by putting some lines down on them. This is a hot mess, my friends, but this is fun. This is the practice session where we just goof around. Drawing faces, drawing anything should just be fun. And like I said, if it doesn't work out, just start again. Just draw from your imagination. Here's that shadow we talked about going underneath. This one maybe even has a little bit of shadow underneath the nose. That line coming down. And then the same thing, we'll draw those cheekbones. Here's his chin, which is smaller and kind of that same shape of his general head. And the face this is one creepy character. I think maybe we should stop while we're ahead. Crazy. And of course the ears, which if we want to follow the rules, the bottom of the nose, top of the eyebrows, wherever those would be. And here's his ears. Kind of like a mix between Mickey Mouse and a normal person. And this, because he's so weird looking, we'll just draw a skinny little neck coming down. I don't know what we're doing. We're just having fun here today. So that is your second assignment. Take what we've learned and just draw something weird. We could keep working on this if we wanted to. But the concepts are all the same. That's the beautiful part. Tyrion says, looks like that one kid that always says, do you have games on your phone? I can see him saying that. Let's do that. Do you have games on your phone? There you go. Hunter Otis gives a good old LOL. Hunter, thank you so much for watching, my friend. I appreciate it. We've had about 15 viewers today. I would call that a success. This has been awesome. So we've drawn 2 faces in the front perspective. One we were kind of sticking to kind of realistic rules, and one we were kind of having fun with it. So let's turn the page now, if you will. I'm gonna get rid of that one. Junetree says, should I post my outcome page to the Discord? Absolutely you should, my friend. In fact, we'll probably, if anyone wants to join my Discord, just use command Discord, and you can see it in the chat. And yeah, if you would like to post your images in the Discord, yeah, in future episodes, or maybe at the end of this one, we'll show it. All right, so we have a little time. Let's do this. Let's talk a little bit about drawing faces from the side view, which is this, which is also called the profile, which a lot of people have a hard time drawing faces in the profile view or the side view. It's usually easier for people to draw straight on. Actually, then there's the side view, and then this is called the 3/4 view, where it's turned kind of 3/4. And we'll talk about the 3/4 view later in another episode, but today we're going to do the front and the side. Okay, so let's do this. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw a round circle like we did. And this is a method of drawing profile view images that I learned from another artist named Bobby Chu, who's I'm a big fan of. But he talked about something called the 3-arrow method for drawing a side view face. Junetree says 3/4 is what I do most of, and I need to work on more of my front and side. So this should help a little bit. So we're going to look at the side view now. Should totally do my own face. But let's do this. Let's do the 3-arrow method. And I'm going to tell you what I mean about that. So we're going to kind of do the same thing where we kind of cut this down the middle to see where the eye should be. And what I what I love about this method is it actually allows me to do some very creative faces. But if we're going to keep this pretty general, the trick is we are going to draw our first arrow. This looks like a V pointing that way, and that kind of creates a nose, right? And so we're going to do another smaller arrow underneath that, pointing in that same direction. And the third arrow, we're going to point in the other direction where the eye would be, right here. So we've got these 3 arrows. I'm going to kind of darken them just for the purpose of this so we can see it really well. Kieran says, I got AirPods on my keyboard. Not sure what that means. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So we're going to turn this into a face now. So the beauty of this is this sets the groundwork. We have our big circle, and now we have these 3 arrows. So this first arrow that's pointing in the opposite direction, this actually becomes the eye. So if you add a half circle in that, another circle in the other direction, we'll darken it up. That becomes an eyeball really quick. This big circle right here is beautiful because that becomes our nose. So we can draw another circle right here, right above. That becomes a nostril. You can see really quick we can make that into a nose. And this one may not look like it now, but if we actually notch this out, it becomes kind of some lips. They kind of look like they're kissing now, but we'll just add another line underneath them. One becomes the top becomes the top lip, and then the bottom becomes the bottom lip. And we just talked about drawing circles. So we need to draw a chin, so we'll just draw a circle right here. We'll draw a circle up here, the kind of above the eyebrows, and then we can just piece it all together. So I actually love it. When I can't think of something to draw, and I just want to draw a goofy drawing with a profile view, I will use this method because it kickstarts me into drawing it. So we're gonna now just outline this chin. Then we can draw the forehead, kind of comes up like that. Then you have the bridge of the nose, and then we can just doodle in the same kind of eyebrows we did on the front view. And then we'll just add another circle for the ear here, kind of around the middle. That becomes the ear. Very similar to the front view. still has the targus or whatever that ear flap is. And if we want, we can add some shading to that top lip, just like we did on the front view. Kind of refine that. And that starts us up a really simple way to start drawing a profile view head. I'm going to draw the jawbone, which just comes from the bottom of the ear. The neck would come straight down from the front of the chin. The head in the back is kind of like egg-shaped, so we'll just draw another circle. Kind of ends at the front of the ear, and then, of course, the comes right back down from there. So really quick way, and you can see the nose is kind of pointy right now. That's pretty easy to fix. We'll just put a circle kind of at the end of it. We can change that shape into kind of whatever we want. But that's called the 3-arrow method of drawing up a profile view head. Okay, is everybody caught up here? Kids, checkpoint kids, are you guys caught up? And of course, I could just sit and kind of noodle. They say yes. I could sit and noodle on this for forever. That's kind of the fun part. If we wanted to add shading, or even here, we wanted to add hair. Here's my sideburns and some hair coming up. We can add hair pretty quick to that too. Kind of a weird looking head. We're just drawing quick and dangerously here. Okay, so let's do this again. We're gonna do this one more time. And this time we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna take everything we've learned and we're gonna draw another profile head for our last assignment today. Drummer Guy says, I'm going to implement this method, never tried it before. Yeah, give it a shot and then share it in the Discord. We will share. Tell you what, on the next drawing series, we'll share the previous drawings from the class before. That'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's do this. So we're gonna draw. I'm gonna jump the gun a little bit. One of my favorite shapes to draw with is actually a bean. I got this from another professor of mine. So we're gonna draw one circle and then another circle, kind of like a snowman with just two, and then kind of draw these out to make this bean shape. I don't know why it is. Beans are just really, really fun shapes to start drawing with. Don't ask me why. I think maybe Fall Guys started it out. So Diapers on a Plane, if you do command ! Discord, you can see the Discord. Thank you. Oh, you're already typing it in. Okay, so let's do this method again, but let's just have fun with it. This first arrow, right here at the center, I'm just gonna do a long arrow. It's gonna be a huge nose. And this one will be kind of a smaller arrow down below. And then, of course, here's our arrow going the other direction right there. So this is kind of a really cool looking face here. I'll just start notching out the chin. Here we can add the ear out here in the back. We're just drawing a lot of circles. So now we can start fleshing in that eye. Eyebrow comes up here. And this is awesome. I love like just stretching out some of the proportions of the face. So here I put in the nostril for that nose. And then I can just have fun with it. I can kind of follow that shape or even change it a little bit. We talked about the bridge of the nose in the front view. So here, maybe this is the bridge of the nose and it comes up a little bit. Comes down, here's the bulb of the nose right there. You can just do some crazy stuff. Here we go, that top lip. Like we drew before. We'll do that same thing. Here's the mouth. We'll shade that in a little bit. Big old nostril there. And then maybe I want a bigger chin. So we could just draw a bigger circle here. Maybe that's how it should look. Just really fun to goof around with this kind of stuff. So this is your second assignment, everybody. Draw some weird circles and just see how you can push these shapes and just have fun with it. So the forehead kind of really goes out like that. Some shadow underneath the nose. And then of course the hair. Let's do this one as I'm continuing on with this sideburn approach. The hair we can just kind of go crazy with. It's got a cowlick in the back. that ear flap that we've already forgotten the name for. All right, and then so you can just have fun just drawing crazy, wacky faces. So the beautiful thing about all the approaches that we've showed you today, you can either keep them realistic, you can keep them really realistic proportions, or you can just blow it out and go crazy. Drummer Guy repeats, it's the tragus. There we go. So these are the 4 assignments. Kids, I wonder how close the checkpoint kids are. We're going to show off some of their work here at the end of the stream. Do we need a few more minutes? By the way, I'll just repeat, anybody watching this, if this is the kind of, if you want to see this kind of content on the channel, please consider liking the stream. If you're watching this after the fact, consider subscribing and leaving a comment below. What kind of art lesson would you like to see next? What interests you? Do you want to do some color theory, some shading, more faces? We've mentioned hands. I think that's a great topic maybe for the next stream. I had a student once ask me how to draw mouths, and I said, it's easy. It's easy to draw mouths. All you have to do is draw 1,000 of them. It all comes down to practice, any kind of drawing. June Tree says hands are fun because so many people approach them differently. I think it'd be fun to do some of these drawing sessions and approach them in different methods, even methods that I'm not comfortable with. Drummer Guy says animals would be cool. That's awesome. One of the methods I like to use in my class is actually taking shapes, like whether it's squares or triangles, and then drawing animals with those shapes. It's a lot of fun. All right, so checkpoint kids, if you're listening, come bring in your homework. Let's check it out. Let's show everybody what you did. I think I'll have to unlock my office. We're waiting. We're waiting. Primarily, I think everyone's watching on YouTube, but if you're over there on Facebook in Zuckerberg land, I hope you're enjoying the content as well. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. All right, you want to come share yours?
Yeah.
Tell them what you got here. We'll stand up.
So this is...
You got to put it up right here and tell them what you drew.
This is the first one.
Okay, awesome. That is great.
Okay, this is the second one.
Whoa.
Okay, this is the third one.
I love it.
And this is the last one.
All right, I think the checkpoint kids are officially better than their dad. All right, that was Miss Pie. Okay, who's next?
Me.
Okay, this is Eclair. Let's see what you got.
This is the first one.
All right, how old are you, Eclair?
7.
All right. Okay. June Tree says these are incredible. So this is my 7-year-old.
This is the snake. This is the second one.
You have games on your phone.
And this is the third one.
There's the third one. Awesome.
And the fourth.
There we go. All right. Good job, sweetheart. Okay, next up is none other than Widmore.
My circle.
Oh, you brought the circles. All right, the full assignment.
First faces.
All right.
Here, Daddy.
Yep, you'll be next. Grab that one down there.
Second face.
This one
All right.
did circles on it. This one I just did.
The triangle.
Here, Dad.
The
Here,
side
Dad.
view.
And the last one.
Awesome. All right, good job, Widmore. Okay, here we go. Minecraft, how are you doing?
Supposed to look like this.
That was the last one?
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing job, my friend. Okay, and now here is my 3-year-olds. Come here, sweetie. Okay, the 3-year-old did her drawings too. Are these your circles? Those are your circles?
Yeah, that's mine.
I love it. This one, I like this one a lot too.
Oh,
And more circles?
yes, those are mine. And I made this.
You did. Good
Yeah, I
job.
know how to make
And there's the face. Look at that.
That's my face.
You did awesome.
Yes, I did.
All right.
Thank you, Dad. I will. And this. Wait, move.
Okay, hurry quick.
And this is my circle.
Good job. Okay. All right, I'll hold you. All right, everybody. This has been super fun. Learning to draw with Checkpoint Professor and the Checkpoint Kids. All the way from 3 to 11 years old. And of course, this is open for all ages. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Like and comment if you like what you see.
I have a song.
Go.
We got a #1 cereal, yeah, for 99. Get down 10 kills on the board right now. Just right down 10 minutes. Perfect, just got down. I know our hands up down. Now we're in the Pleasant Park Street. Look at the macros on the mark sheet. Take me to your Xbox to play for 9.
What a fitting ending to the first ever art stream. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye.